Welcome to episode 5 of the His and HURST podcast.
Woo! That's 5?
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's really big.
That's 5. It's like halfway to double digits.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I thought we'd get this far.
I think we should keep the pod going like forever. Like not even just on the trip.
I think that's...
People would want to hear
that's
about
why,
our everyday lives too. Like we do sick
yeah,
shit.
you would love that. That's the angle you're going for. Anything but travel is Maddie's podcast.
I'm a traveler.
But you are a traveler. See? That is growth if you're paying attention to the last
I'd
episode.
like to do a formal apology for my attitude. The past 20 minutes of the last episode, I was just like such a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it
like we watched it back and I was like, it's not cute.
Yeah, you
girl.
did not feel good about that one at all. But we
and
did.
You sounded so like eloquently spoken and like you were so understanding and you said your side like so perfectly and I'm like, yeah.
That's why we had to keep it.
Yeah, so I looked like an idiot.
No, this is totally unfiltered. Like you're getting a bird's eye view into our relationship and just a genuine relationship between two people. Probably more so than we planned on broadcasting. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, we live in our lives on
So,
camera.
But I think back to your comment on episode 5, like that's why it's called His and HURST, right? If it was gonna be just about travel, it would be called like our travel podcast, but it is. It's about our lives.
Yeah.
It's about. I mean, we happen to be traveling, and we are talking about traveling. That's what we're doing.
And we know what episode 1 is going to be when we get back to the States.
What?
Come with us to get a puppy.
I think there's a couple things that happen before we get
Episode 1. Episode 1. Come with us to get little Nick. That's what we're naming our dog.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Yeah. There'll be 3 of us.
And there'll be 3 of us. So. Episode 5. This is interesting. This is the first episode we're repeating locations. Every episode until now, we've been in a new spot.
Interesting. We're just grinding out here.
We're grinding. But that was kind of the purpose. I wanted to stay here in Cebu City. There's not much to do, but I knew that we would want to catch up on a lot of, TikToks, a lot of Instagram
and boy,
stuff.
have we struggled to be able to do that. We'll get into that. We talked about Cebu.
Yeah, I mean,
the service here, there's no Wi-Fi in this whole damn city. Nick and I today were literally like walking the streets of this city, popping into different fucking locations and asking how their Wi-Fi was. Like we were just trying to find any place to go that had a connection.
Well, I'm trying to back up my entire iCloud photo library because I don't have enough storage on my phone, so I need like the world's strongest signal, and we're just not gonna get it here in the Philippines.
I mean, even just like to make like style guides and do my business on my I need any Wi-Fi and it still wasn't really working,
Yeah, I'm shocked that the Wi-Fi hasn't been an issue yet. Like I guess it was a little bit, but I feel like in Japan it's pretty good for the most part.
Where was it an issue?
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't been. This is the first place we've really run into where the Wi-Fi is challenging. And we say it every episode, there's always something wrong with every accommodation. This room is perfect. It's huge. There's air conditioning. The bed's nice. It's a great hostel, but the Wi-Fi here sucks.
It's a big issue.
And not only does it suck, it's been out the last 2 days.
Oh yeah, like it's not like it's just slow. Like there's just no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so the first...
And you might be like, oh, just like use your service. I have unlimited international service and it's still like so bad. Like sometimes it just doesn't work because we're just so far away,
Yeah, it's tough. I switched to T-Mobile thinking I would get like the same amount of data I do in the US. How wrong I was. I get 5 gigs of international data per month, so I'd use that in like 3 days, and I'm just left to fend for myself.
And connect to my hotspot.
But I think there's an app called AirAlo, free shout out, but you download eSIMs, and it's like, I think if you buy a month's worth, it's like $2 a gig, which is really nice. So I think I'm gonna have to start getting on the eSIM train, and but that's what traveling's about. Like you only see the glamorous parts on social media. Like you only see You only see
the glamorous parts on my social media, but on your social media, you see everything.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Nick's like documenting like the fucking shitty ferries that we're taking. Whatever.
But again, like that's what I want to do. Like I know
it's just funny. It looks like we're on 2 different trips.
Yeah.
Because mine is only like the beach shots.
But I'm just
like,
all about transparency. Like I want people.
Well, you're trying to build a travel account.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And it's tough. There's really tough travel. It's not all awesome. And even like the days it is awesome when we're doing the day trips, like in the Philippines on the boats. It's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting. You know, you wake up early and you wait an hour before you dock. So it's like anything in life. It's trade-offs. It's balance.
Yeah.
But we're very fortunate to be here. On the other hand, we're still behind.
Where did we leave off?
We're in the Philippines. We are in Seoul. We're still in South Korea on the podcast.
Okay.
We're still in South Korea.
I think we were about to get into like the party night.
No, I mean yeah, kind of. But I want to like I didn't have the energy to talk about my day.
Which day?
The big travel day. The big travel day.
Oh, the travel day.
Yeah, well you a work day for you.
Oh.
So anyways, a recurring theme you're going to hear on this podcast is typically when we get to a location, specifically in a big city, and there's a lot of touristy shit to do, I will go do that stuff on my own.
And I'll work.
And Maddie will work. And this is honestly, like, this is one of the hard parts of being so far behind. I wish I had, like, a reference. I wish I had some notes that I could refer. But I had a really epic day in Seoul. And most cities in the world, like, you can see in 2 days. Like, if you wake up early, if you get up, you're out the door at 8:30, and you go hard on attractions till 5, you can see most of the things.
For sure. I think a lot of people just don't want to do that.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, realistically, for a lot of people, they only have 2 or 3 nights in most places, so you kind of have to go hard. I'd much rather go hard one day and then day 2 have like a beach day or a pool day or a relaxing day than like,
I would way rather do one day on, one day off.
And so it's hard, but you have to do it. So anyways, in Seoul, one of the first things I did was hike this mountain. There's 2 kind of viewpoints in Seoul. One is this mountain. I think it's like Kawamachari, or
something like that.
I'll plug it in when we edit this bad boy. But I started with a hike, and it gives you an incredible free view of the city. Seoul is very mountainous. It reminds me of San Francisco in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, just our Airbnb being on top of a
that was crazy.
hill.
I wish I could remember the name. But anyway, so I did this free hike. It's phenomenal. I got off at the wrong subway point. Another thing, like Google Maps doesn't work in Korea.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I've been seeing some TikToks about this lately. They use an entirely different app set. Like, it makes sense that Google Maps...
Like, they have the South Korean maps?
They have different apps that they use for maps.
Yeah.
You know, or everything, really. Like, South Korea... I think it's maybe because it's closer to China. Like China uses an app called WeChat for everything.
To text?
For everything. It's how they pay, it's how they text, it's how they... Like, it's how their maps... Like, I think that was why Elon Musk bought X, or Twitter. That's why he bought Twitter. I think he's trying to transform Twitter into this like all-inclusive WeChat like style app. They pay with this app. They use it for maps. They text with this app. And so maybe it's because it's closer to China and they just don't use as much Western technology. But it makes sense, right? Google Maps isn't going to go invest in like having walkable data for a population that doesn't.
We gotta clip the toenails tonight.
We'll clip the toenails. I have razor sharp talons.
Yeah, like
I have very many bird like features. I've got a long neck. I've got kind of a pointy nose, and I've got like razor sharp talons.
Okay, I'm good. I'm
So, anyways, I go up this mountain. I go the wrong way because I always just put the name of the attraction in Google Maps as opposed to the trailhead. That's something I need to do. So Google Maps, Google Maps will take me. It thinks I'm gonna like scale this mountain, like free climb this mountain. But I need to remember to put the trailhead. It even happened to me yesterday on my day trip. I put Chocolate Hills and like the Chocolate Hills are different than the Chocolate Hills viewpoint.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost some time going.
Are they like hills like that make chocolate?
No, I think they're just hills that look like Rolos, like Hershey, like Hershey Kisses. They're just like
they don't produce any like chocolate beans.
I don't know. I mean, if you know Chocolate Hills in the Philippines, comment in the chat. The shot. So anyways, I will drop the name of this hike I did in Seoul. I think it's a great way to start your day. You get a phenomenal view of the city. It's absolutely free. The next thing I did is I walked up to Bushok Hanoi Village, and it's this really cool, trendy part of town. It's literally just an Instagram spot, and that's kind of a hack. Like, I think this is a travel hack that people don't realize. You know, there's nothing wrong with typing into Google best Instagram spots in blank.
Yeah,
and going to those places, because I know all you guys just want to flex and look cool while traveling. So just own it, just own it, embrace it, and like just go to those spots. Like they're popular for a reason. So it's a cool little spot with this traditional Korean architecture, and it's kind of in the hills. So if you get the right angle, you can see like all of Seoul. It's basically in the foothills of the mountain that I just climbed. Okay. So that was really cool. I stopped by the Royal Palace on the way. It just happened to be on the way. It was like $2 to get in. So many of these attractions, like I think people get really worked up about going to this stuff. Like, oh my God, I have to like embrace the beauty, embrace the culture. Just get in and get out. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with paying your $3 entry fee, going inside, taking a couple videos, taking a picture.
As long as you're respectful of other people's traditions and cultures, you don't need to like fully immerse yourself.
But you're right. But I find myself. It's like, do I need to spend more time here? It's like, no, you don't. Like, there's a lot of things to do in these cities. Go
see it, enjoy it, get a picture, be respectful of everyone there, and go to the next spot.
100%. And I'm trying to think, what else did I do that day? I wish I had my TikTok. I literally make a vlog every single day on TikTok. So, I did something cool. I had lunch. Oh, I had a bibimbap. A bibimbap.
What do you
think a bibimbap is, Maddie?
Some type of meat.
There's meat in it, so that's a good guess.
I think it's like a big old pancake full of. Is it pancake?
It's not a pancake.
I think it's like meat, rice, veggies, like in a Chipotle bowl.
You know what? That's not bad. That's pretty accurate. It's I think a Korean Chipotle bowl. Like, you might get passed on Jeopardy with that. Like, that might work.
That's a pretty good guess. I just remember seeing the photo of like 40 sides.
That was a different day. The sides are huge in Korea, but a bibimbap is literally a Korean Chipotle bowl, but it's actually served in like what are the hot Mexican dishes they serve?
Soup.
No, but like you go to a Mexican restaurant, you order this like tomato sauce and the shrimps are hanging out on the side.
Oh,
it's like
shrimp cocktail.
No, it's not shrimp cocktail, but so they serve it in this scalding hot bowl. And somebody actually told me, my friend Jay Kim, shout out, bibimbap means to mix. Oh. That's all. It's just to mix in Korean. So it's essentially a Korean rice bowl with vegetables and rice and meat and an egg, and you just mix it all up in this hot plate and you eat it.
Nice.
So that was absolutely delicious. I had a bibimbap lunch, and then I just kind of walked around the city a little bit. There's a really cool kind of stream, river. It's definitely man-made that kind of runs through downtown, and then saw just kind of their Times Square. Just walked around their downtown. There was it was Saturday, so there was a ton of like Korean War memorials going. It's so funny, their veterans look the exact same as our veterans. They wear those huge like blue hats with like
and their jackets. Cute.
They're obviously very proud of their heritage and being South Korean. And
the war against
the Korean War. I think that's like we sound like the most dumb Americans ever right now. But I have to imagine.
I don't think it's something that a lot of people know, to be honest. Because didn't the Korean War happen in like the 50s?
Yeah, it did. It did happen look at you.
That was pretty good.
It did happen in the 50s, and I believe it's I think Korea.
So those people are old.
Yeah.
They're like 90.
There was a unified Korea prior to the Korean War. And I think that's why we have North and South Korea, and that's why there's the demilitarized zone and all that. So anyways, just a lot of, you know...
Why did it have to do with Saturday, though?
I just think Saturday's a day where people aren't working, right? Like, that's the day you would have a rally. Like, if there was, you know, to be a day where all the old Korean war vets, somebody, like, their kids could drive them downtown and they could, like, attend a war memorial, like, Saturday is the day.
That's funny.
So I did that. The last thing I did is I went to Gwangjang Market. Every, like, Asian city has this market. There's these open-air markets where a lot of it is just vendors selling, you know, like butchers and fishmongers, but a lot of it's these restaurants where you can sit down and have food. And I had just had my Korean Chipotle bowl, so I wasn't exactly starving.
Did you get a snack?
I got a little snack. I got a mung bean pancake. That was
okay. I knew there was a pancake in there.
Yeah, there was a pancake. You were right. You were getting warm. So it was delicious. This was probably the number one snack I saw. There was probably more mung bean pancake stands than anything else. A lot of like Korean style sushi, a lot of like rice noodles, but yeah. So I had a snack. I'll say those markets are just so intimidating for me.
Yeah.
Because there's just
like
there's too much options. There's too many options. The best restaurants have a tiny menu. They really do.
Yeah, because they like do a few things perfectly.
If you walk into
besides the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, but if you walk into a restaurant, it's like, you know, they do everything. Like, that should be your biggest red flag. Turn around.
Besides
like,
the Cheesecake
Factory. If you specialize in everything, you specialize in nothing.
Okay.
You know? So anyways, I find these markets so challenging. You need a guide. You need to have like a guide like, hey bro, I've got $20 that I want to spend here. Take me to the best 3 places. And maybe, I don't know, if those exist, holler at your boy. But, so that was awesome. That was a cool, fun little day. But even Nick gets tired. So I had to return and check on Maddie. Pause. Yeah, so we're going to take our first break.
I gotta go pee.
Gotta go pee. Alright, we have returned from a pee break sponsored by the San Miguel Brewery.
Oh, friggin' beer
in Manila, Philippines.
Perfect.
That is, I've had a few of those.
And we're about to talk about a night where we had a lot of those.
Yeah. So I came back and brought Maddie a little kebab.
A little snack for Maddie.
Yeah, I've been bringing Maddie a lot of snacks, but that's okay because she's been working hard.
I worked that day. I called my mommy, and I got Starbucks. That's like all I did.
Yeah, which you need to do that sometimes. We learned that very early on that you need those days, and I think I mean, I say that's all I did, but it was like 7 straight hours. No, but you catching up and working on your business.
It's like relaxing for me. Well, it's like recovery time.
It's more important to you than seeing every little thing. And seeing every little thing and documenting it is me working on my business.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, I think it's more efficient for me to go out and do this stuff and film and talk to the camera by myself than it is when you were doing it together. So, so we had an awesome night.
Oh, yeah.
Our first night.
It was so good. I had my little snack, and then we basically just like got ready and went to dinner. And that was the first night where we had Korean barbecue.
Yeah, we had been looking for... There's always something, right? We're always looking forward to, but we wanted Korean barbecue so bad. We found this cute little restaurant. We got the perfect table in the corner. And also because it's they cook the meat in front of you, you know, you basically cook yourself at your table. So it's all warm and it's so cold out. It's all cozy. Cooking you take scissors and you cut the meat with scissors. It was so fun. And then I got, what's the name of that drink? Soju, which is basically a bottle of really, really watered down vodka. Yeah.
And they give you 2 little shot glasses. So Nick and I were just ripping shots at dinner.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
It was amazing. So just a little context, we were staying in the Itaewon neighborhood, which is the foreigner going out area. But we went to the Hongdae area.
Which is the college town.
Hongdae is the college part of town. It's the part of South Korea, the part of Seoul that when you see TikToks, when you see video, South Korea is very known for nightlife.
Yeah.
It's known, they're big drinkers, they stay out late, clubbing is huge there.
It never sleeps.
It really is. And so we went over to Hongdae for dinner. We booked a pub crawl, and it's actually funny. You can either book the Itaewon pub crawl or the Hongdae pub crawl. We're staying in Itaewon. This gives us an excuse to get out to Hongdae. The only thing I'll say about the Korean barbecue, I was expecting it to be cheap. And I was expecting it to be all you can eat, and it wasn't.
Really?
I think all you can eat barbecue is more of an American thing. Like
that makes sense. We're always like, give more, bigger, better, all you can eat, buffet style. Like, it's like so American.
But I think we spent like $40, and I just I don't know. That's an expensive meal for us on this trip, even by Japan standards.
But it was so delicious.
But it was dope. So we had all this Korean barbecue. We had this soju. We were drinking beers. We're feeling good.
We got so many snacks along the way to the park.
Yeah, my cheap ass won't order any more meat, so we were hungry.
We got a burger. We got those cheese balls, or were they cheese balls?
They were fried cream cheese balls, which were fire.
Those were so good.
And then I got this marshmallow ice cream.
Yeah, like a s'mores ice cream thing.
Where they put a block.
We're gonna get dessert tonight.
I would love some dessert.
Now that we're talking about dessert.
Yeah, we'll probably finish at a reasonable time too.
Yeah.
But so this marshmallow ice cream where it's like a big toasted marshmallow and ice cream's in the middle. But the only problem is the ice cream was frozen. I bit into it thinking it's gonna be a warm milk.
A s'more?
Yeah, and it was just this hard ice cream block, and it was gross.
Well, then we got to the bar where the bar crawl starts.
Let's talk about pub crawls.
That's what I was just gonna preface. I was gonna say that first of all, you should always do a pub crawl.
Pub crawls?
If you're looking to meet people, it's just a great way to be able to go out, meet other people that are traveling, especially if you're not staying in a hostel. If you're just at a hotel, it's just a great way to meet other people that are wanting to meet.
Why do you think that doing the pub crawl is a better option than just going out and trying to go to bars by yourself? Because you do have to pay. Usually pub crawls cost $20 to $30.
I just think it's you can. It's just so nice to not have to try to figure out where to go, where the young people are, where the cool spot is. It's and also maybe go to a place that's full of the locals, which is fine. But then it's no one speaks your language, or it's just it's so nice to be in a place where you're going to meet. Also, it's so cool to meet people from all over the country or all over the world. You're standing in a circle, and one girl's from South Africa, you're from the U.S., this kid's from Korea, this kid's from Australia. It's honestly sick. The whole concept of it, that we're this fucking international group of people. We're all just in one bar taking shots together. It is so fun.
It's cool.
And everyone's traveling, so everyone has a different story. Everyone's on long trips, short trips. It's just such a good vibe.
I completely agree. It's an absolutely amazing way to meet people. Here's my take on pub crawls. If you are traveling to a big city like Seoul, like Tokyo, like London, like Mexico City, a lot of times in these big cities,
it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, but people aren't really interested in meeting new people.
Yeah, that's true. Especially Tokyo, New York. I was saying, it's people are very fast paced. They do their thing.
Yeah, it's very hard to meet people. When we're living our lives in Dallas, we're not really trying to mingle with people that are there for work on the weekend.
Oh, I have another pointer. For what? For my single guys out there. Also, if you go to say you are an American man, and you are in Tokyo, and you go to a bar, not a pub crawl, but you go to a bar, I feel the girls are way less inclined to hook up with you because they know nothing's gonna come out of it because you're just going back to America next week, Yeah. But if you're on a pub crawl, it's more exciting because everyone's traveling and on a trip, you know what I mean? And you know you're gonna meet other single solo travelers.
Exactly. In these big cities, the local people really don't want anything to do with you. And also, all the best bars and clubs, they're not easy to get into. The best nightclubs aren't just on the street broadcasting, hey, best nightclub in Tokyo, best nightclub. You gotta know people.
How is one to know?
How is one to know? It's very challenging unless you're with a local. as opposed to these small little backpacker towns like El Nido, there's literally one street, there's a couple hostels. You don't need to do a pub crawl because you meet everyone at the hostel. You go to the same 5 bars. So that's my take on these pub crawls. If you're in a big city,
do it.
It's so worth it to do the pub crawl. And sometimes you get burned. Not burned, but the Tokyo pub crawl was a total racket. The Tokyo pub crawl was a lot of fun because we met some really cool people.
Yeah.
But we literally went to 4 bars that had like, here's one bar, here's another bar, go upstairs to the 3rd bar, cross the street, go to the 4th bar.
That's it.
The guy that owns the pub crawl owns all 4 bars.
Yeah.
It's a total racket, but we met a lot of people.
This one we went
This
to,
one was
like,
different.
we walked a little more. We went to a bunch, we kind of bopped around. I will say, like, when you first get to the first bar, though, like, sometimes it's like,
it's hard.
I gotta be on. You know, when you have to, like, do your spiel, you're sober still, usually, like...
You're sober still.
You're not?
I feel like I've always got a couple beers in. We had beers on the train.
You know, you get there, you go right to the bar, you get your first drink, and you're like, all right, like, that's usually when Nick and I will be like we're not gonna just be the couple that goes sits in the corners and talk to anyone. We'll kind of like
who are the coolest people in the room?
We're like, okay,
let's go.
Who's hot? Who's chill? Like,
who are we gonna be allies with?
And that's exactly what we did. And we went up to those group of girls. They were really cool.
Yeah.
It was a great bar crawl.
It was a great bar crawl. We went to like this one. It was
we even went to a final place after the bar crawl ended with everyone because we were all vibing so much.
Yeah, like the tour operators were like, "You guys are cool. This is where we're gonna go."
Yeah, like we were like on the inside of like where to go after the bar crawl ends.
So yeah, we went to 5 different bars. We ended in this like rap bar where they were playing music. Seoul was really cool. And Tokyo is the same way. Like there are American military operations there, so there's like always
a ton of military.
There's always military people there, so there's always a lot of Americans. There's a lot of American influence, so you're gonna like meet people that you know like you share values with that are just like-minded, and so that we had so much fun. Was that the most fun? I think the Tokyo pub crawl was probably the most fun we've had.
We met like these really great people on the Tokyo one, so it holds a special place in my heart because I love them.
Yeah.
But like the actual pub, like we were dancing, we were singing, like on this one, like we were fucking
lit.
Like everyone was like,
it was lit as fuck.
You know, like one of those. Like,
we haven't. I mean, it's fully 2 weeks later, and we have not gotten that drunk since.
No, I mean I threw up.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So the pub crawl is amazing. We make our way back. We go to the...
Can we specify how we made our way back?
Yeah.
Nick was so drunk that I, for the first time, got us home. I turned on my thinking cap and I looked up like how to get, because like Nick's just like standing like this and the taxis are going right by us because you have to like call one on like an Uber, like you have to call it on this app. So I'm like on Safari, like how to call a taxi in Seoul, South Korea, and I downloaded this app, created a login, like inputted our credit card, like I did.
I've got my thumbs in my pants like James Franco, like it's like my thumbs my cock.
You're like trying to like talk to some random guys in the street, like how much for a ride?
And he's like
and
$80.
Like $60 and you're like, no, you're like, we're not doing it, Maddie. We're not. I'm like, I know, I'm downloading the fucking app right now, and so
we did have some help.
Yeah, we had one. He was like, I'll just create the login for you really quick, and he like took my phone and like did
created the login.
Well, I did my I did my email, all that stuff, but he like set the location to where we were and typed in where we needed to go.
Yeah.
So thank you. Shout out Jen. We got back to our neighborhood and we got a little drunky food to go. What did we get?
We got fry boxes. This is another thing that we need to talk about. We need to talk about like this whole podcast, not this whole podcast, but my whole travel shtick is about opening American eyes to the fucking joys of backpacking and international travel.
And the joys of fucking fry box.
And one of them is doner kebab.
Oh, so good.
Of course there's doner places in the US, but it's not the same. It's more Euros, Luna Grill type stuff. In New York you have chicken and rice, but that does not hold a candle to a Turkish kebab.
Like all you get in the US when you have like late night food is like Taco Bell, pizza, and burgers.
Yeah, and I'm sure like there's dope late night spots. I've only lived in St. Louis, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, and Dallas, Texas. Those are all. That sounds lame as fuck. I'm working on it. I'm working on that. If all goes well,
I've lived in LA, San Diego, Fort Worth, and Dallas.
Yeah, you have to live somewhere for cumulative 6 months just for you to live there.
I have.
Oh, I guess when you were a baby.
I've lived in LA for 3.5 years.
You've lived in LA. You've lived in San Diego and Dallas.
In LA, you're just jealous because you wanted to.
I am. Yes, of course I'm jealous.
Yeah.
You grew up in fucking Southern California. I'm from Missouri.
I'm from the Pacific Palisades in Santa Monica.
Yeah, so Maddie is definitely had a different upbringing than me, but we'll unpack that. We'll unpack that on a later episode.
Yeah, you can unpack that to our therapist.
Yeah, seriously. But anyways, so Donair kebab, it's the best thing ever. If this doesn't work out, I'm starting a Donair shop. And
you should anyway.
And maybe that's how.
That's how you make it.
Maybe yeah, we'll get to build a following, and then we
you
can
open
get
like the new McDonald's of the United States, just like fucking thousands of these places.
I can only dream. So, anyways, we had a fry box. It's basically fries with gyro meat and salad and just doused in
tzatziki
sauce. It's unbelievable. And so that was our night.
We got it to go. We brought it back. I'm just like one of those people that I get really dizzy when I get drunk. I don't go straight to like getting blacked out, which I honestly wish I did. I get really dizzy. So if I even feel an ounce of dizziness, like if I feel like I'm gonna close my eyes and get spinny, yeah, I just make myself throw up. Like it's probably super bad for you, but like I come back from drinking and then I eat my. It's not like I throw up because I'm like bulimic. I don't throw up the food. I only throw up the drinks and then I eat the food and then go to bed.
That's smart. At least you puke
I
first.
get the alcohol
Yeah, because you don't want to eat the food and then you're it's a waste of money. Yeah.
I throw up the alcohol. I eat the food. I take my Advil. I put on my Skims and then I.
We have pro puking podcast.
I love throwing up.
Like I just think like throwing up is I think it's an underrated like.
Well, why
function.
would you ever want to feel like if you're like, oh, my stomach hurts, like, oh, I feel just like get it out of you.
We're pro bulimia in this podcast.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I take it back.
Kidding.
No, but even just like drinking, like it is such a responsible. Like let's say you're at a game day and you drank on Friday night and you wake up at 7:00, and you're drinking all day and you gotta make it through the night. Like there's nothing wrong.
No shame.
There's no shame in a puke and rally.
For sure.
Like it's honestly responsible.
Asia's the queen of puke.
Like if you're like you're actually hurting yourself and those around you. If you
because then you're gonna be like like super fucked up.
Pull trig, baby.
Yeah. And then the next day was Sunday, and we had just the most classic Maddie.
Oh my god,
it is.
It is. It was. We've only had 2 of these days so far on the trip. One was New Year's Day, and I was definitely more hungover on New Year's Day. Like, we got fucked up New Year's Eve.
God, that was so fun. That was when Nick tried to make us walk. See, okay, I had my brain on 2 times actually this whole trip.
You know what? Casey Watts is my best friend. Like, we're walkers. We.
Wait, how does Casey have anything?
Because Casey would literally walk home for miles after the bar. We lived in St. Louis.
When you were 22?
No, when we were like 20. We were like 25, 26. But like we'd be like at this bar in St. Louis, and it's like 2 miles away from our house.
Yeah, and you walk through the sketchiest neighbor and somehow make it home alive.
And Casey would just walk home.
I
never walked home.
I never walked home.
But I'm just inspired by Casey. You're an inspiration.
That doesn't really do it.
I love you. I miss you, buddy. And yeah. So, anyways, I'm always like trying to walk home. I was like, we don't need a cab. We totally need a cab every time. We only got 2. We only got 2 cabs really this whole trip.
Yeah, both the times were when you were like blacked out.
Yeah. So at least we're playing our cards right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we
slept in.
Oh, we slept in, and it's always the best when it's rainy, when you're hungover.
It's cozy. Like we laid in bed, and remember what movie we watched that day? In honor of where we were, we watched The Interview.
That was at night, right?
No, it was in the morning. It was midday. Because we also got the fried chicken. Basically, classic Maddie Nick hungover Sunday is like lounge all day, and then like the only time you leave the house house is just to go get food.
Well, I left the house a little before you left the house.
What do you mean? Where'd you go?
I woke up and I got a little haircut.
Oh, I forgot you got a haircut.
Yeah, so I did not get a haircut before this. You know, I've got this long. I'm gonna do.
You got your new do.
I got a new do.
You got a new do.
So I've been talking about getting a haircut for a while. I also forgot my beard trimmer on this trip. Well, I actually remember the trimmer. I just forgot the charger.
Oh man.
I know. Fuck me. ADD's a bitch.
Yeah.
And so I've been talking about getting a haircut for a while, but I didn't really have like the time to do so. And so we're hungover as hell. We're not doing anything. It's rainy. It's cold. Like, I'm gonna get a haircut today. And little did I know, right next door to our Airbnb, there is a Australian, like Western style barbershop.
Perfect.
And so it actually really worked out. I went down there. You know, I'm really trying my best to make content. So I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm touching my little feet. So I go down and I'm like, hey, I need a haircut. And I'm kind of doing this like middle part wolf cut mullet type thing. He's like, yeah, it's not really my specialty. I usually just do like skin fades. But he's like, it's all good. Like, I'm a trained stylist, I'm a trained barber, like I can do it. And I was like, okay, well, I want to film.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting because this is the second time I've asked someone to film. And
they've been iffy on it.
They've both been iffy on it.
Why
they've
though?
both
I don't
been,
get it.
I like being on camera is uncomfortable. Like honestly,
I know, but I would be like, yeah, I'm more pressed for my hair salon.
I don't like. I after getting to know this guy, like
I don't think he cares.
I don't think he cares. You know, it was interesting. You know, he had a really cool story. He was Australian. He was in the printing business, so his side hustle is he manufactures the prints for artists. So there's an artist that, you know, makes a cool design. He will then, you know, print it on 10,000 pieces or whatever and like do the manufacturing part. So he got this lucrative printing contract in South Korea at a really young age. So, you know, I don't know what it was, but he said he was printing like university materials. Like he was printing like booklets and like study materials for South Korean colleges. At a really young age, and he was making a lot of money, it sounds like. So I think for a couple of years he just busted his ass. That's what brought him to South Korea. But he said it just was so much work.
He just like
it was just a lot of work. He's just like, I think he was working around the clock. I don't know if he wanted to hire anybody or he was having trouble hiring anyone or like for whatever reason why he couldn't build his team. But I think he grinded on that printing stuff for like 5 years and saved a little nest egg. And was able to start this barbershop that he has in South Korea. And even so, he specifically said, he was like, oh, I don't really, you know, want this to go viral because then there'll be, you know, hundreds of, you know, Korean people waiting, you know, to want a haircut. I'm like, wouldn't that be good for business?
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, like, I don't know. I think scaling's an issue. It's like, imagine like, you know, you're a business and you're just getting started and you explode on social media. And then everyone wants your service or product, and you can't accommodate it. Yeah. Then people will be pissed because you can't scale, and then so they, you know, comment negatively or post bad reviews, and then you get shut down. Yeah. It's like you have to scale responsibly. And anyways, he's just like, yeah, dude. He's like, I have a pretty good clientele of typically, you know, American, you know, GIs and military folks that I cut their hair. Anyways, but he was cool. You know, I kind of turned the charm on and was being really friendly and kind of explaining like my deal about making content, what I'm trying to accomplish, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, let's film this thing." And so, that's awesome. You know, he let me film. It's just cool. Like it's also an icebreaker too. Like as opposed to me just going in there like being like, "Hey, like let me get this haircut," and sitting on my phone, or like we really like engaged with each other and got to know each other and. It was just a really, really cool experience. It was a little expensive. You know, I probably could have waited a couple more days and got a $5 haircut in the Philippines, but you know, you pay. It was awesome. Like it was such a good experience. It was such a good video, and I got a new do.
Yeah, they did.
So then
we got some fried chicken for lunch.
Yeah, KFC.
No.
Korean fried chicken. Why don't you talk about the Korean fried chicken? There was one issue that you can get to.
Yeah, there is no ranch dressing.
There's no sauces.
But specific, like, there's no
we're
ranch
big.
dressing
We're
in
big
all
ranch.
of Asia.
We're big ranch people.
I keep saying, like, you know, forget any other business. If we just bring some ranch dressing, like, we're gonna change their lives. They don't understand. Like, everything I have, I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Fried chicken
it's gonna be so much better with ranch. Like, the meat is so good, but I'm like, oh, just like a little dunk, like.
Fried chicken is just so popular. I mean, everywhere in the world, but especially here in Asia.
Yeah, so it's like they just need there's nothing to dunk it, and that sucks. But it was mid.
It was mid. I think it's this. We were hungover. Like we got this really. Oh, it's called Opadak fried chicken. It's a really famous one. I got kind of the hot spicy. She got like the sweet chicken, and it was just. I think it's just too much. It's like when we were in Osaka and I'm trying the takoyaki. It's just I think it's tough to have a really adventurous eating day when you're hungover, you know. And even like it's not like it was adventurous. It was just fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like it was mid.
It was mid.
It was mid.
It was in a cute area, so we got to walk through kind of like a little farmer's market type of vibe.
Yeah.
And we got a crepe, and that was not mid.
The crepe
amazing.
was fucking awesome. And I did make a everything we ate in Seoul TikTok.
So you can see all the little.
So you can see, and it's like in Seoul and Japan, I was really concerned with eating all the best foods, trying everything, because those are just like, you know, Japanese food, Korean food, those are fire. Like they're known for that.
We're concerned with that.
Yeah, we're like here in the Philippines, and
the food's disgusting. I'm sorry.
We've had some okay stuff, but you know, all the only international food from the Philippines that people know is Jollibee, which fucking sucks.
So like,
I'm sorry, Jollibee's not good. If you're wasting your money on
like
overpriced Jollibee in the United States, you're an idiot.
We were talking. What did he say? Your German friend, Lenny. He was like, it's like a dog.
Yeah, he's
dog
like dog
treat.
shit.
It's a dog treat.
It's a dog treat. I love Lenny.
Dog treat.
I wonder how he's doing. He you know, I think they're having fun in Boracay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So anyways, you know, we had the fried chicken. The crepe was fucking awesome. And then which was cool. That was the Myeongdang area.
I don't know.
Myeongdong. Everything ends with dong. It's like Hongdae, dong, like, you know, a lot of dongs in South Korea. But yes.
Then we went back and then we watched the interview because Nick was going to the DMZ the next day, so we wanted to like get in the mood.
And that, guys, I'm not gonna lie, like that movie just hits different. And I think it's like I've seen it enough now where it's just like those classic Will Ferrell movies that just get funnier every time.
So
like
funny.
it is unbelievably funny, especially the scene where they're just like partying and becoming best friends.
Yeah, they have the fucking tank and they're like
it's just like this looks like the greatest fucking time ever.
Yeah.
He's like, we fuck chicks. He's like, we fuck chicks. Like, what?
Listening to Firework by Katy Perry.
Yeah, I mean it's so funny.
We hung out at the place like the rest of the night because we got Indian food that night. That was also kind of it.
We
like,
did.
We just had a classic Nick Maddie Sunday.
We talked about it on the last podcast, but we always get chicken tikka masala, and we're still chasing this chicken tikka masala from this fucking cafeteria in Cape Town. It's like an Indian it's like a buffet, and it was the best chicken tikka I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, they just lack a little flav of
Well, I got the butter chicken. I didn't get the chicken tikka because you know
Why me?
You know you just like you can't really handle the spice.
Oh, I can handle it.
All right. Okay. So moving forward, we're getting it.
As long as you have some milk ready for me.
There we go. There's the caveat, or maybe a Coke.
For some water.
Or some water.
Yes. And we went to bed nice and early because we had to get up the next day.
Oh my god.
Very early for a very important game. We should have slept in.
Yeah. So, I'm a Cowboys fan.
They lost so badly, and the game was at like 6 a.m. Korean time, and so we got up like, you know, it's fucking pitch black. We got up like 5:30 to get the computer set up to watch the game. 5 minutes in, like, we knew it was over.
My other best friend Andrew got me on the Cowboys train a couple years ago. I'm from St. Louis.
But you live in Dallas.
I was a Rams fan, and they moved to LA.
Is that who we played?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just like my football journey, and I was a Rams fan, and I just like staying. Like LA's dope. We're moving there, but like
we're Cowboys.
But fucking Stan Kroenke is an evil fucking man. and he totally screwed the city of St. Louis, and they lost on purpose for a decade and blamed it on the fans just so they could leave. And I just couldn't get on board with that. So I was homeless for a while, and I've been...
Okay, this is like, just like...
People want to hear about this. Football, like, people care about football now.
You're a
Even Taylor
Cowboys
Swift
fan.
cares about football.
You're a Cowboys fan.
So I'm a Cowboys fan, and it's honestly probably it's like my favorite thing about Dallas. Like, it's like the best, it's literally the best part of living in Dallas.
Game days are so fun.
They're so fucking fun.
No matter what age you are.
And yeah, so we woke up early to watch this game, and I'm just gonna take a couple of minutes here to talk about the Cowboys. Okay, obviously they lost that game. I knew that game was over on the first series of the first drive. It was like 3rd and 9 on the Cowboys 20, and Jordan Love kind of scrambles and he throws it down the field for 40 yards. And why we were playing zone coverage and not our usual man-to-man coverage is like, I have no fucking clue, but I knew on that play it was over. And the Cowboys do the same thing every year. They beat up on the bad teams. They lose to every single good team. And I don't know. I'm okay with Dak. Like, I think Dak's a good quarterback. I think he gives us a better chance to win than anyone else. But Mike McCarthy needs to be fucking fired. I hated that hire 3 years ago. He's a lazy coach. His teams are never ready to play.
Would you like it more if I knew what you were talking about?
No, I'm not. This is like, you can go pee or something. Like, this is...
I'm always gonna pee.
He's a lazy coach. His teams are never ready to play. And they're the most penalized team in the NFL. And, like, I get it. Like, the regular seasons are always dope. They're always exciting. Cowboys make a shit ton of money. They're the most valuable fucking franchise in all of sports. But they just aren't doing the things they need to win. And it's just frustrating. So that's my piece on the Cowboys. I feel like it's as painful being a Cowboys fan as it is being a fucking Browns fan sometimes. Like, I'd almost rather be...
What about Chargers? That's pretty painful.
You guys just got a pretty, things are looking up for the Chargers. So anyways, we watched the Cowboys get their ass kicked. That really set the tone for the day.
Yeah, and then you headed out to North Korea.
So, yes. Another thing you do in South Korea is go to the DMZ. What does the DMZ stand for, Maddie?
Demilitarized Zone.
Demilitarized Zone. So it's kind of a buffer area between North and South Korea that is separated by a river. And it's a very popular tourist attraction. However, they do not operate tours on Monday. I would say most people, you sign up for a group tour, they take you on a bus, they take you to all the most popular locations. But I think the DMZ is actually closed on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go in. And so I couldn't go. And I'm like super butthurt. Like, I'm like, this is my TikTok I'm gonna make, it's all for the content.
Just
like,
a cool thing to go see.
It's just a cool, interesting thing to go see. Like, you can't go to South Korea and not go to the DMZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you were working. But that I'm like, that's not gonna stop me.
Yeah, you just went.
So there are some things you can do. You can't physically enter the DMZ, but there's a peace park, and there's kind of this gondola.
Oh,
and
so you
there's
didn't
a
actually
bridge.
get to go in it?
I mean, like,
It's kind of confusing.
no, I did.
Like,
I did go in it. Like, there is. All right. So what I did is I took the train. I essentially took public transportation as far as I could to the DMZ, and then I got a cab the last, 15 minutes from the train station to the DMZ. It's called, the DMZ Peace Park. And there is a gondola that will take you from South Korea across the DMZ into this little, fenced off area. So technically I am in the DMZ.
Okay.
But it's this little fenced off area, and there's a lookout point, and then there's it's called Camp Greaves Memorial, and it's just a war memorial to the Korean War. But yeah, I mean, that's all I could do. All I could do is take the peace gondola. So I go up to the DMZ, I walk around this crazy park. This park was insane. It's like they have this ominous music playing. There's all these like modernist, contemporary, like monuments that are just weird.
Yeah.
And there's no like just
kind of creepy.
Yeah, just really creepy. There's no one there.
It honestly probably would have been nice to like if to go with the tour because they probably could explain things.
For sure,
you had to improvise.
I would absolutely recommend going with the tour. It's like $40. I'm sure it's totally worth
They
it.
can just educate you on what you're looking at.
Yeah, like I would have 100% went on the tour, but like again, they don't do the tours on Mondays, and so I couldn't do it. But I did what I could do. It was still a cool experience. I still learned about the Korean War. I still got to see Freedom Bridge or Peace Bridge or whatever. I technically did go in the DMZ. I crossed the river that separates North and South Korea.
Yeah. And it took you about 2 hours to get back.
And it took me about 2 hours to get back. And then what did we do that night?
We went into the tower. It was so fun.
Oh my god, that was so fun.
Such a good night. Well, also what I did during that day, I went to Starbucks. I had a little altercation with the guy that worked at Starbucks. And I'm like calling Nick, like, I was just so disrespected at Starbucks. He's like, I'm like at North Korea right now. Can I call you back? Like, just such a typical girlfriend being like, Nick, like calling him. He's like, I'm just.
You need to come down and kick this guy's ass right now.
He's like, I'm just a little busy right now. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But I worked, and then when he came back, we basically got ready and we went because we wanted to be there for sunset.
So I mentioned there's two kind of places you can see the view in South Korea or in Seoul.
What was the first one?
One is the hike that I did, and this is the second one.
Yeah, so basically it's like...
It's called S2 Tower.
S2 Tower. Like, the bottom of the tower is... You still have to take like a little... what is it called?
Gondola. I went on 2 gondolas that day.
You take a gondola up, and then there's like this really cute little area, and then you go up in the actual tower. So like we took the gondola up. The little cute area is like it has one of those like lock bridges, you know, like where they have all like the couples with the little locks. Where is that, in France or is that Paris, where they have the lock bridge?
Oh yeah, I think they're everywhere. I mean, I'm sure maybe the first one was like Paris somewhere, but like they're.
I don't know. I always like they're so cute. Like those are like I love seeing those.
It's a whole event.
There's
like it's
thousands.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the most beautiful thing ever. So these colorful locks with people's little name. Like it's
we
so
could have hiked
cute.
it.
We did.
No,
you mean to
we could have hiked to the top.
We would have missed the sunset.
We would have missed the sunset.
So we got to see the like really pretty sunset by all the lock area, and then when it turned nighttime, we actually went up in the tower, which was like perfect. If you're gonna go there, that's the perfect timing, because it was like we saw the beautiful sunset, then we went all the way to the top, and you can just see like all the lights of the whole city. So it was like we got to see like the same view like in 2 different.
That's the best time to go up in anything is at dusk, because then you get the sunset and then you get the city lights. But when I really liked this experience, it was expensive, right? It was like $15 for the gondola, and then it was like $10 more to go up in the tower. So just like going up alone cost us like $50, but it felt like it was worth it. I felt like
it was so worth it.
I felt
it was
like
so
the views were so epic, and the locks, and there were just a bunch of cool places you could take pictures.
They had a little Christmas thing set up, like.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
It was so they just
I felt like it was worth it though. I felt like I got
a
good value. Like I think a lot of people could easily be like, oh, S2 Tower, I have to take a gondola and I have to pay to go up. Fuck that. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. You get to see the whole city. Like it's very like magic. It has like I don't know. I love seeing the big skylight. Like something about seeing a like giant city, like surrounded by all these like locks of love. It just makes you feel good, you know.
And it was cool. I think, you know, obviously you had a great time going out in South Korea on Saturday, but apart from that, it was really
like my only touristy thing I got to do.
It was really a work trip for you. I think you probably felt like you had a bit of an empty experience in South Korea, and I felt like going and having that touristy thing at the end was like, oh, I've done something in South Korea. You know, I've seen part of the city. Like I feel like I came to Seoul, as opposed to just sitting in the hotel and working.
And we had a great dinner that night after too.
We did. You know, South Korea's, you know, it's not cheap. I don't know if it's more expensive than Japan, but I think it's probably about the same.
Yeah. Probably
about the same cost as Japan, give or take. But we were like, man, like we've had an expensive day. Like we had a huge night Saturday. Like I got an expensive haircut. we're like, should we just get something cheap?
And then we're like, nah, we'll get Korean barbecue.
So, I mean, when in Rome, we got
We
Korean.
had to do it again. It was so fun.
We got Korean barbecue
I
again.
personally I think the vibe of the other place was better because we were drinking. It was like Saturday night. But I thought this place had better food. In my opinion.
Yeah. It was definitely a nicer place. Like, the place in Hongdae was more college vibes. It was more, like, dive bar. Like, it was definitely...
Yeah, like, the vibes were, like, just, like, more fun
party,
there. But,
yeah.
like, I just thought the food was so
It was
good.
phenomenal. You know, it was the highest rated Korean barbecue at Itaewon. And it was delicious, and it was a great way to end
And you
South
got a little
Korea.
pizza slice on the way home.
I always have to
Still
get. Well, it's just
hungry.
like if I'm hungry and I go to bed, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm nervous about like.
Well, we'll get dessert.
So, anyways, it was a great way to end South Korea, and it was a great way to end episode 5 of the His and Hers podcast.
Did we wake up the next day and fly?
Yeah. And so our trip.
Oh, it's a terrible travel.
Yeah, our trip to.
So we're ending on a high.
We're ending on a high. A little preview for next episode. We will be in our last destination in Philippines, and we'll be talking about kind of our
We're
first
gonna
week's
catch
experience.
up. We're in the same country now that we're talking about.
Yeah, we're getting caught up.
So proud of
We're
us.
getting caught up. That was kind of the purpose of this in Cebu, was to get caught up on a lot of things, and I feel like we're doing very good. So yeah, we will catch you guys in Siargao. I'm gonna learn how to surf there.
Yeah.
And we will talk about our experience in the Philippines.
Love you, besties.
Love you. Bye.